All right, state your name for me.
Christian Rivera.
And you are a...
I am a junior at UNF.
And what's your major?
Deaf education.
What sparked your interest in deaf education?
I worked in an elementary school, and in the classroom, the students were deaf and hard of hearing, and that was my first interaction with them, and that kind of is what sparked my interest with the program. The teacher in the classroom actually went to UNF, and she was an alumni of this program, and she told me if I was interested, I should try signing up and coming here, so I did.
And you taught, or you helped teach at the school in Miramar?
Yeah, so it's pretty close to Miramar. It's in Tamarack. It's called Tamarack Elementary, and they had a cluster of DHH students. So they had a classroom of kindergarten to first grade and then another one of second to fourth grade, and I helped out in both classrooms.
So I know you said that because you were in that teaching job that's what kind of sparked your interest.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Every day I went in, it was really hard because I hadn't been too familiar with sign language at that time. I've picked up a lot more now, but it was really hard to communicate with the kids at first. And I found that I really did want to communicate with them. And they also have a bunch of other exceptionalities like ADHD or like autism or ASD. And even though it was so hard, I never really felt like I didn't want to go into work. Every day was fun. And I just really enjoyed it, and that's when I kind of realized, like, this is definitely it. Like, this is what I want to do. But it was hard, but it was fun. It was rewarding. Whenever they progressed in a subject, I felt like I was making a difference.
So tell me about one student that you can remember, whether it be now or before when you first started learning about American Sign Language, that kind of, like, really made you want to get into this program, that you kind of remember them always.
So I definitely have more than one student like that, but the one that I always like to talk about is we had a girl who came into our program where she came in with her guardian. Her father had passed away and her mom had abandoned her. And so her grandmother took her in, and the current guardian had come to visit one day because she was friends of the family. And they had found the little girl in her room with a knife and a jar of peanut butter, and she was slathering it all over herself and her nightstand. And so the guardian ended up taking custody of her and bringing her to us. And this girl was DHH, but I think she might have also had either Asperger's or been somewhere on the spectrum. And so, like, she wasn't potty trained, she had no language, she didn't have that focus or anything. And she was definitely the hardest one to work with because there was nothing to work with. We had to basically teach her language, social skills, and then teach her curriculum. And it was really difficult, but I'm never gonna forget her because we put in so much work to try to help her get into and get used to the school system. But yeah, I'm definitely never gonna forget her because of her story and all that we did for her to try to help her adjust.
I have witnessed you and another person in conversation while there are other conversations going on. Do you think that that's a perk of knowing a different language that other people also don't know? 'Cause I know you're bilingual, so you speak Spanish as well.
Right.
But there are people who know Spanish, and like this one's just like a little less known.
Yeah.
So is it easier to have a conversation across a table with somebody?
Oh my gosh, yes. That's definitely one of my favorite things about sign language is that, you know, if we're eating and our mouths are full, we can just sign to each other. Or there was one time where I went to a basketball game and I saw one of my friends in the stands, like across the stadium, and we started signing to each other to like say, hi, how are you? I didn't know you were gonna be here, kind of thing. And it's so cool having that option that you wouldn't be able to have if you were just speaking to someone. Like, sign language kind of facilitates so many other options, like signing underwater to like talk, or if you were afraid you were going to be bugged, for example, in the CIA, you could sign to avoid that, the information leaking. It's very versatile, and I think it's such a helpful language to know for like everything.